Do you believe in miracles? That's kind of what today felt like, right? Your Cleveland Browns do the unthinkable. Nothing felt like it was going the Browns' way today. And they just hang around, they hang around, and they hang around. It feels fitting that special teams won this game for Cleveland, doesn't it? I mean,
how about guys stepping up? How about guys stepping up? Guys out due to injury. Guys going out in the game due to injury. And we step up and we fight.
I think today overall, mentally, we won different battles. I think we won mentally. I think going back to the final minute drive that we had a couple weeks ago, and it wasn't successful.
Shedeur drives down the field, picks up a big third down to Judy. Cleveland gets in field goal range. Andre Schmidt, 49-yarder. It's up and it's good, ladies and gentlemen.
The Cleveland Browns just beat the Cincinnati Bengals 20-18 in Week 18. Myles Garrett broke the single-season sack record. Andre Schmidt hit a game-winning 49-yard field goal. The Browns finished 5-13. And yet, somehow, none of that is what's dominating the conversation right now. It's what Shedeur Sanders said after the game. The fifth-round rookie quarterback, the kid who Skip Bayless said should have gone #1 overall. The quarterback that Mel Kiper ranked above Cam Ward before the draft. He fell preposterously, shockingly, outrageously into the 5th round, where Jimmy Haslam finally said, let's just take him, in what many are calling a publicity stunt.
Nobody in that organization wanted to take Shedeur Sanders even in the 5th round except for the owner. Trust me on that. And somehow Shedeur Sanders rose from 5th on the depth chart all the way up into starting the last 7 games for the Cleveland Browns. Maybe there is a God above.
But then this kid rose from 5th on the depth chart all the way to starting the final 7 games. And he just capped off his rookie season by beating Aaron Rodgers straight up, and then going to Cincinnati and beating Joe Burrow with an outrageously clutch 64-yard, 10-play drive for the walk-off field goal. And after pulling off that miracle, he walked into the press conference and dropped something nobody expected. Spiritual battles, mental warfare, the devil attacking him, his teammates having to pull him back from the edge at halftime.
So I think it was a bunch of different battles, overall that we won today, and it started up here, started mentally.
This isn't your typical NFL quarterback speak. This is raw. This is vulnerable. This is a 23-year-old kid laying his soul bare in front of cameras and microphones, and the internet absolutely exploded. Let's talk about what Shedeur Sanders just went through, because you need to understand the degree of difficulty here. Skip Bayless laid it out perfectly. Pro Football Focus ranked Shedeur's pass blocking dead last in the National Football League over all 7 games he started. Dead last. And Pro Football Focus ranked his receiving core dead last too. The worst pass protection, the worst receivers, both ranked last in the entire league.
I don't know what more Shedeur could have done with less. He had by far, through these 7 games he started, the highest degree of difficulty of any rookie quarterback or any quarterback in the league, by far.
Highest degree of difficulty of any quarterback in the league, not just rookies, every single quarterback. And going into the Cincinnati finale, he didn't have Harold Fannin Jr., his favorite receiver, who got hurt against Aaron Rodgers. He didn't have David Njoku, his best tight end. Jerry Jeudy managed 2 catches for 17 yards. That was his top receiver today. And somehow, with 1:29 left and Joe Burrow just taking the lead, Shedeur put together the drive of his young career.
Offense wasn't perfect, but at the end, we had to come through for this football team, and we did move that ball. Well done.
Yes, Lord.
But here's what nobody saw coming. Here's what has the internet in absolute chaos right now. Shedeur walked into that press conference and revealed he wasn't even himself in the first half.
Different battles, that I had to overcome, I just had to overcome. So that's why my body language, everything was off.
Spiritual battles. All week long, his body language was off. Everything about him was wrong. But then his teammates intervened.
Then we got in at halftime. We got in the locker room, and close teammates, close friends was like, nah, bro, get back to being you. So it was that words of encouragement. It was that shoulder to lean on that you need in them crucial moments. So then,
Get back to being you. 4 words that changed the game. 4 words that probably saved Cleveland's season finale. And Shedeur came out in the second half and engineered that game-winning drive like nothing was wrong.
It wasn't his best game. You know, I don't think he necessarily played well, to be honest with you guys. Like, it wasn't good offensively. The first half was pretty poor for him as well in his standards here.
But Shedeur picked up that big third down to Jeudy and got Cleveland into field goal range. Schmidt drilled the 49-yarder and the Browns won. That's clutch. That's what franchise quarterbacks do. They find a way to win even when they're not at their best.
I mean, I'm able to recognize it, but it's all in the mental. You know, I think the devil, of course, is going to attack you different ways, people around you and everything. And honestly, like, this whole year has been a long year. It been ups, downs. It been, different feelings.
The devil attacking him. People around him causing problems. A long, brutal rookie year filled with ups and downs. This is not normal NFL quarterback talk. Tom Brady never said this. Patrick Mahomes doesn't talk like this. But Shedeur Sanders is putting it all out there with no filter. He talked about needing to lean on people, about how sometimes you have to talk to others and get support.
So, like, you gotta be able to, at some point in time, talk to people. Sometimes you gotta lean on people also. So that's what them, my guys in there, was able to really, like, come to life.
His guys came to life for him. They told him, nah, bro, do you. This ain't you right now. That type of positivity is what he needed. People speaking life into him. And then he dropped this revelation.
Sean even came over my house a couple of days ago, and like I said, in that dark time, he came over my house and just talking like, bro, like, speaking life into me, and that's what I needed. And
in his dark time, his teammate Quan showed up at his house. Not a text, not a phone call. He physically showed up and spoke life into Shedeur when he was drowning. This is the brotherhood that doesn't show up in stat sheets. This is what it takes to survive as a rookie in the NFL. Skip Bayless has been pounding the table for Shedeur all season long. He watched that final drive and couldn't contain himself.
And Shedeur winds up facing a 3rd and 10 at his 29. 3rd and 10 at his 29. And he found aforementioned Isaiah Bond on an out route. Him right there. Shedeur is deadly accurate when he has some time.
Deadly accurate. That's what Skip called him, and he's right. When Shedeur has even a little bit of time, he can make every throw. He hit Isaiah Bond on that clutch 13-yard pass, then swung it to Dylan Sampson for 9 yards, then found Jeudy on the crossing route for 11 to get into field goal range. Skip said Shedeur has the clutch gene and has been saying it since Jackson State. That Baylor game at Colorado last year was unbelievably clutch, according to Skip, and today proved it again. 64 yards in 10 plays with the game on the line and practice squad receivers. That's special. But here's where Shedeur really separated himself from every other rookie quarterback. He kept talking about the mental battle.
I learned a lot mentally, and I learned a lot emotionally, physically, everything. I think mentally it was how to deal with when things are going your way, when things aren't going your way, how to deal with feelings.
How to deal with feelings. When's the last time you heard an NFL quarterback openly discuss dealing with feelings? In a league that prides itself on toughness, where vulnerability equals weakness, Shedeur just said the quiet part out loud. He said you could be not playing and feel some type of way, but you could also be playing and feel the exact same way. So you have to create your own reality. You need a nucleus of people around you, and it can't just be family. It has to be teammates, other people who understand what you're going through.
I think that's what this rookie class and that's what everything is like being able to lean on each other when everything's down, being able for them to come to me and say, nah, that ain't you, bro. Like, you tripping right now. Like, you got to get back to doing you. Like, that's what I need. I need positivity.
He needs positivity. He needs people speaking life into him. Then he can go out and play normal again. And then he dropped this most powerful line of the entire press conference.
I think the biggest lesson of this year was mentally, and I feel like I achieved that and I won that.
He won the mental battle. Not Rookie of the Year, not Offensive Rookie of the Year, the mental battle. For a kid who went through what Shedeur went through this season, maybe that's the victory that matters most. The internet is absolutely divided on this. Some people are praising Shedeur for his vulnerability and honesty. Others think he's making excuses and being soft. Joey O'Dunn asked his audience straight up, should Shedeur start next year? He pointed out that Cleveland won't have a top 5 draft pick anymore after these 2 wins. So if you want a franchise quarterback, you'd have to give up multiple first-round picks to trade up. Is that worth it when you already have Shedeur?
Should Shedeur start next year? Give me a Y for yes, give me an N for no in the comment section. What's the alternative?
What's the alternative? That's the real question facing Cleveland this offseason. And the answer might depend on who's coaching, because according to multiple reports, Kevin Stefanski is about to be fired. Diana Russini said Cleveland is leaning toward moving on from the 2-time Coach of the Year. Adam Schefter said his feeling is that the Browns are going to fire Stefanski. Joey pointed out something interesting. He listened to Myles Garrett's press conference, and when asked if Stefanski was coming back, Myles basically dodged the question.
Myles said, I play football. If they ask me, I'll give my opinion on whatever they ask me about. But I play football, and that's what I like to keep my focus on. I want things to be successful, however that looks.
However that looks. Translation, Myles doesn't care if Stefanski stays or goes. He just wants to win. And when the reporter asked Myles what it's been like playing for Stefanski, he said it's been 6 years with more downs than ups, that unfortunately they haven't made enough noise, that he doesn't know what the future holds, but he'll be happy to play for whoever. Stefanski lost the locker room, and Skip Bayless has been saying all along that Stefanski didn't want Shedeur, that he worked early on to sabotage him.
Tomorrow, we need to hear that Kevin Stefanski is gone. He didn't want Shedeur. I think he worked at times, especially early on, to sabotage Shedeur. He has to go. Those two won't work. More valuable now, by far, is Shedeur over Kevin Stefanski.
Those two won't work. Skip says Shedeur is now far more valuable than Stefanski. And after what Shedeur just did these last 2 weeks, beating Aaron Rodgers and Joe Burrow back-to-back, it's hard to argue with that assessment. Now let's talk about Myles Garrett breaking the sack record, because while Shedeur's comments are going viral, there's another controversy brewing. Myles got his 23rd sack today on Joe Burrow to break the record held by Strahan and tied by TJ Watt. But social media is not being kind. The Black and White Sports Channel pulled up the tape and compared it to when Strahan broke the record against Brett Favre.
The single season record. This is Joe Burrow. You're going to want to pay real close attention to him. Right here, and he totally gave himself up.
Burrow slid down. He gave himself up just like Brett Favre did to Strahan 22 years ago. And now the asterisk crowd is coming out in full force. People are pointing out that Strahan did it in 16 games. TJ Watt did it in 15 games. Myles needed 17. The comments are brutal. 17-game season, so it really doesn't count. TJ's still better. Weakest record-breaking sack ever. Burrow took a dive. Even worse, someone brought up Harvey Martin, who had 23 sacks in a 14-game season back in 1977, confirmed by Elias, but sacks weren't official until 1982.
The asterisk narrative is in full effect. And honestly, Myles had to know this was coming the moment he needed that 17th game.
I mean, we are in a time right now, 20 years from now, you're going to tell your kids, your grandkids, whoever you want to tell, that you watched this man play live. And it's truly a blessing that we shouldn't take for granted. I mean, we're watching who I think will end up as the greatest defensive player ever.
The greatest defensive player ever. That's what Joey thinks Myles Garrett will be remembered as. 23 sacks while getting double-teamed every play, while getting chipped constantly, while playing for a 5-13 team. He's unguardable. He's generational. And whether you want to put an asterisk next to the record or not, the fact remains Myles Garrett owns it now.
This is the greatest team game that's ever been invented. And I haven't had the pleasure of playing with a better team than this one right here. I'm so grateful to be alongside you guys in this season where we can win. That's what it's all about.
So where does this leave Cleveland? They just won 2 division games to close out a 5-13 disaster season. They're about to fire a 2-time Coach of the Year. Their franchise defensive end just broke the sack record amid controversy, and their fifth-round rookie quarterback just revealed he's been fighting spiritual battles all week before leading a game-winning drive. The locker room was celebrating like crazy after that Schmidt field goal went through. Joey described it as a celebration you don't often hear through the locker room door. Water bottles flying, yelling and cheering.
I think without the defense, we wasn't going to be able to do anything, and I think without us as an offense being able to drive down the field, they did everything they could do, so that wasn't really going to be able to win the game. So
the offense needed the defense. The defense needed the offense. They leaned on each other in those key moments. That's how you build trust. That's how you build friendships. And Shedeur knew the whole time that Andre Schmidt was going to make that 49-yard field goal. No doubt in his mind, because of Schmidt's trials at the beginning of the year, because Shedeur connected with him over dealing with adversity.
Instance, that's where me and him connected, like how you deal with certain stuff, and then being able to talk to him, being able to be that source for him, and then him go on and have the successful season that he had. I think it was truly amazing. So,
connected over adversity, over struggling, over fighting through the darkness. That's the story of Cleveland's season finale. Not the stats, not the record, the human element, the brotherhood, the mental battles that nobody sees. So what happens now? Kevin Stefanski gets fired probably within the next 24 hours. Cleveland hires a new head coach who will inherit a 5-13 team with the greatest defensive player of his generation and a controversial fifth-round rookie quarterback who just went viral for talking about spiritual warfare. Do they build around Shedeur? Do they trade up for a quarterback? Do they sign a veteran? Those are the questions Cleveland will spend this offseason debating. But after today, after that drive, after those words, one thing is absolutely certain. Shedeur Sanders is not going anywhere quietly. He's going to speak his truth, he's going to be vulnerable, he's going to talk about mental health and spiritual battles and the importance of brotherhood. And whether Cleveland is smart enough to recognize what they have remains to be seen, but the internet already knows. The viral clips are spreading, the quotes are being shared, the debate is raging. Because Shedeur Sanders just did something no rookie quarterback has done in recent memory. He won the mental battle. He admitted his struggles, he gave credit to his teammates, and he delivered when it mattered most. That's not weakness, that's real strength. The kind of strength the NFL desperately needs more of. The kind of strength that might just save the Cleveland Browns, if they're smart enough not to screw it up.